So here are 7 mistakes that you're probably making when it comes to customer retention. And on how to avoid those mistakes or pitfall, I got you in this video. Let's get into it. The first mistake you're probably making is that you are acquiring the wrong customers. I don't know if you've heard this saying before. Don't find customers for your product. Find products for your customers. It's something along those lines, and I think it was said by Seth Godin. But basically, don't try to sell the product that you have to any and everybody. You need to know who you're selling to and build for them. Acquiring the wrong customers that are not the right fit for your product can lead to very poor engagement and high churn, even if the initial sign up rates were very high. If you attracted the wrong people for the wrong reasons, they are going to mess up your metrics and they are going to engage poorly with your product because they were not the ones you built for in the first place. If they are not the right customers for you, it's hard to build what they want, or it's hard to build for different kinds of customers. So the solution to this is clearly articulate your ideal customer profile. Who exactly am I building for? What is the niche? If you cannot define who your customer is in very clear terms, then you are probably going to be acquiring the wrong customers. This should actually feed into your customer acquisition strategy, the target users that you genuinely hope that need and value your product. Don't just sell to any and everybody that comes knocking at your door. If you acquire the right customers, you will retain them. But if you acquire the wrong customers, they are going to churn and they're not going to engage with your product as much. The second mistake is that you are probably focusing too much on customer acquisition instead of retention. I see a lot of organizations do so much with respect to marketing, pumping in users, doing this campaign and that campaign just to make sure that a lot of people come into the product. And they're focused on acquisition, even if it's acquiring the right customers. But obsessing over acquisition of new users and neglecting to nurture and retain existing users is a very big fail. You need to shift your focus from just acquiring customers to retaining. Else, just have a leaky bucket where you are spending so much acquiring and you're not doing enough to retain them or keep them in the product. So you need to build long-term relationship, build good support for them, and just understand overall what is the lifetime value of my customers within my product. On average, how long do my customers spend in my product and how do I extend that lifetime? So focus on retention itself, not much on customer acquisition. That may be something you're doing wrong with retention. The third thing you're probably doing wrong with retention is just having a poor onboarding experience. Yes, I know in the first example I said you might be focusing too much on customer acquisition, but at least if you have to do the customer acquisition where the right target market finds your product, you might as well make the onboarding experience very simple and easy to understand. A confusing and incomplete onboarding experience can lead to users failing to see the value of the product early or potentially not leading users to see the full value of the product in time. You need to nurture your customers as they get into the product and make sure that the key parts of the product that you need them to see in order to stay and as they continue to stay is available to them and they are exposed to them so that they do not churn. So you need to create a seamless onboarding experience that highlights the key features of the product, the value proposition very quickly. Have tutorials, checklists, and tours that will help users achieve their first milestone. And as they continue to expand and stay in your product, have a mechanism by which you introduce them to more advanced features within your product and nurture them accordingly as they continue to grow within your product. The fourth mistake you are probably making with retention is overlooking the power of user segmentation. You should not treat all your users the same. This often leads to irrelevant messaging and irrelevant product experiences and reducing the overall engagement and retention. For example, I'm not going to treat a team of 5 the same way I would treat a team of 500 on Jira. I'm not going to treat a developer the same way I'm going to treat a project manager on Jira. So segmenting your user by demography, by their roles, by their size on a basic level is a good way for you to understand retention. That way, you understand which users are retaining and which users are not retaining. And if you have to focus on them, you have a definition of who you want to focus on, even if your product is specifically built for a niche market. It's very important to implement user segmentation on behavior, demographic preferences, and tailor your communication and features to the needs of each user segment in order to drive meaningful interactions and engagements. Another reason why you may be making a mistake with your retention is you lack consistent value delivery. Products that deliver value only occasionally fail to keep users engaged over a long period of time. In fact, your users should be able to predict and anticipate how soon you are going to deliver value to them. So continuous value just provides your users an expectation through regular product updates on new features, personalized experiences, walkthroughs that will guide them to the new features that you have and align their evolving needs with where you're going to. It helps to just keep the product fresh and relevant, or else nobody wants to continue to pay for a product that they don't see change periodically or over time, or they don't see address new things over time. So it's important to have a consistent mechanism by which you deliver value. Your users should be able to anticipate that they are going to get something new every 2 weeks or every month or every 2 months. However, your consistency is that works for your users, you need to define it and you need to keep up with the consistency that you have defined to deliver value to your users. Something else that you may not be doing right with retention is neglecting the role of community building. This is a huge fail for a lot of organizations because it's not enough that I get value out of your product, but I also want to see how other people are using your product and be sure that I'm even maximizing your product the way that I should or learn from. And it's an easy sell and a free sell that a lot of organizations overlook. Sometimes the community themselves are large enough to solve their own problems without your support interfering. They engage, they converse, they are able to share with one another what they are doing to achieve success in your product without any input from you. They already share a common goal by having the needs that your product solve. So putting them in the same place would naturally spark conversation around the needs and the pain points and the challenges that they have and how they are solving those problems. And it's also an easy way for you to pull into your community of users to do interviews, to survey, to be able to get their feedback and consistently engage them and involve them in how you are evolving the product. So don't skip on that community building. Create a user community through forum, through events, social media group. Discord is a very good one that a lot of organizations are using now. Slack community is also a very good one. Users can share their experiences, learn from each other, and build a sense of belonging. And stronger communities can signify that you have very good retention. And lastly, I think a lot of organizations are making a mistake with measuring the right retention metrics. Do not focus on surface level metrics like daily active use, weekly active use, monthly active use without understanding deeper engagement metrics that can lead to an understanding of your retention efforts. Dig deep into cohorts and user segments and how they retain on your product, not necessarily how often they are using your product. You need to understand what is the frequency at which users are using different parts of your product and make a decision around, is that frequency good enough or do we need to work to improve this frequency? So don't focus on vanity mix that just give you signals around usage. You need to understand the depth of the experience of the user. Track meaningful retention metrics. Time to value is a very good retention metric to track at the beginning stage of the user journey or at the launch of a new feature. That means how quickly did they get to find this feature in the first place? If they are not finding features very quickly, then you probably need to do some work with enlightening and educating them about features. Do cohort retention analysis, do feature specific engagement, and also understand how features correlate with one another. What is the relationship between users that are using this feature, and this feature? Because there could be a relationship. So use these insights to understand where users drop off or where to focus your improvement efforts on, not just how many users are using a feature on a weekly, monthly, or daily basis. I hope these mistakes help you clarify a couple of things about retention, and I hope you're able to pick a couple of things here that you can take back and adjust with respect to how you measure retention or look at retention within your products. If this video was helpful to you, share with your product manager friends, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.